Yodelay-hoo! Welcome to Coffeeland's Global Cooking Challenge. Tonight is night 3 of cooking the food of Switzerland. Switzerland, country number 168 of the 193 UN member states, as we learn to cook by cooking a different country, working our way around the world in our 4-year journey. This is week number 168. Tonight, third night of Switzerland, we are cooking the Italian part of Switzerland, making a risotto con Luganega, sausage with saffron risotto. So, in case it wasn't obvious, and it's kind of hard to see on this map, Switzerland is located right there between Italy, Germany, Austria, France, and I think Liechtenstein. I don't think the flag is even on that. It's that relatively small, crowded in there. But flip around. There I am. So let's get our lens on and get cracking. Hopefully, okay, no blurs this time. How is everybody doing? Remco, how are you doing? Thank you for joining us. It is chilly here. It is chilly. So, here we go. Working on the sausage. Now, one of the issues we had with this dish is that just like the first night of Switzerland last Friday, we ran into a little bit of an issue with the availability of the very particular type of sausage. So in this case, we're using just a generic uncooked Italian sausage for this. Hey Remco, thank you for the like and the restream. Sorry for the wobbling as we get our stand all worked out here. And make sure you get some juice so you don't die and fall into me, which is always a tricky operation. How you doing? How's everybody doing? I still am always wondering how that number, is that actually people on the web? I can never really tell. Okay, again, trying not to blind people. Alrighty, here we go. So, I investigated how to deal with this raw sausage in this particular case, and one suggestion was to pre-cook it like I pre-cooked the smoked German sausage, which we had on Friday. Yes, Friday. And there were differing opinions on whether or not I should sear it first or sear it second. Some people are talking about the flavors going away if you sear it, if you boil it or poach it, steam it, whatever you're going to call it, first. I'm going to give that a shot. I'm a little worried about, well, number one, that pot being wobbly, but about the timing, because I don't want it to be overcooked, and I don't want it to be undercooked. I'm trying to get it cooked right. Landing Point, thank you for the restream there. So let me show you what I got. Incidentally, part of the drama is that I have leftover sausage from Friday. That sausage is cooked, and you know, since I'm always cooking, you know, as part of the project, I don't really get a chance to, you know, use some of the other stuff that I have, unless it's just straight up leftovers that I'm having. So I do have a couple leftover German sausages, and now I have these mild Italian sausages here. And this is a pound and a half, a pound and a quarter. So I guess what's happening is we're having 2 sausages each. I think that is what's happening. This may be overkill. A smaller bag might do it. Also, so I'm thinking that off camera, tomorrow, when the husband is going to be having a business dinner, I'm going to be, you know, finding a way to repurpose sausage in some fashion. There's a little part of me that just wanted to Periscope that just for giggles, just to see if anyone showed up. You know, that would be officially not part of anything, and I guess Periscope is good for the unscheduled. The surprise, since you can't schedule on Periscope, at least not so far as I can see. I know eventually I'm going to have to wind up on Periscope, and I'm not really excited about that. Except for the landscape mode. That's the one thing I would look forward to. So, I'm going to be making some sort of combo sausage thing for myself tomorrow. We'll find out how exciting it gets. But I have my, what amounts to a pound of sausage. Hey Danny, thanks for the restream. So, as with the German sausage instruction that we got, I'm going to try to go off a combination of that and stuff that I read on, I believe it was Chowhound. Oh, by the way, I have a new toy. Did you see? I got a basket. I've got my onions and potatoes and garlic all hanging. I had the guy come by today. Lilu, good morning to you. It's the evening here, but good morning to you. Hey man, what do you rock? Thank you very much. Oh, what I'm cooking. I am making, tonight, to use the Italian phrase, risotto con Luganega. Luganese sausage with saffron risotto. Not exactly the sausage, type of sausage that it would be called for, since we have sort of your generic mild Italian sausage. But that's what we're going with. So I hope that answers your question. Craig, Lavender Femchi, how are you doing? But they're in the sun? There you lost me. They're in the sun. En Caboya vuelve tira. Try that one again, because I don't think I understood what you were getting at. We've got the, I thought this was yodeling. Yodeling has turned into chanting. Well, there, we're back to yodeling. Hold on. Gotta clean. So basically, the suggestion was for the sausage to poach for 10 minutes in boiling water with the lid on, and then 10 minutes with the lid off, and then just kind of fry until it's reached its level of doneness. Your basket of garlic. Oh, but they're in this. Oh, that's not good? I mean, it's behind a shade. Here, I'll show you. You tell me, is garlic supposed to be in the dark? That would be good to know. I always had it in the bag over there. Sorry about the weird lighting. But now it's over here. There's shade right there, and the shade there. Not that much sun. But if that's a problem, I'll move it. I did not know anything about this. Hey, Yolanda, how you doing? Thank you for the restream. So, this is where this is going to happen with the sausage. And as with the... I hope I'm... See, it's 6 o'clock now. And that's not going to take that long. You know what? I'm just going to let that sit there at room temperature for now, with the heat off. Yes, it lasts longer. Okay, then it's going to move back to its original position. It will be cool, dark place. Sorry. Oh, don't apologize. Thank you. I mean, I would say I go through it quickly, but, you know, it all depends on the alphabet. So, well, it's not the darkest place, but it's back where it came from. Oh, you know how I used to live in Ohio? Basket. Ohio. O-H. I-O. That was a going away gift. So I'd remember the folks there. So I'm gonna let that just sit there at room temperature until later, because I'm a little concerned that it'll be overcooked by the time dinner comes. So just gonna move on for the rest of the prep right now. Don't fall. Don't fall. It's always a problem with this thing. Okay. Thanks for the tip on the garlic, and sorry I'm a little wobbly. It depends on how quick you use it. Yes, well, naturally. Okay, husband is at the gym. So, oh, hey, Anthony, good seeing you. Thank you for popping by. Yes, and the alphabet depends on how quick I use it, too. I'm having a problem with this lens. I think I must have dropped something on it. Hope we're a little better. Not so blurry. Okay. Alrighty, so, you know what? I'm going to warm some of the beef stock so it's not cold. What is this? 2 quarts, okay. As you informed me before, the way I hooked up that pot was with the hot and cold going into the hot. So this time I'm gonna try not to do that. Anthony, yay, screenshot. Oh boy, pot. Sure. Okay, hope you got it. This. So we're going for 3. This is all in metric, so I have to translate, so it's a weird amount. 3 and 3.38 cups of beef broth. And I said to warm it. So that's what I'm gonna do for when I need it later for the rice, for the risotto. And I just bought more beef broth in case I didn't have enough here. I'm very confused about the time, because I looked at this and I said, it looks like it goes rather quickly, and I don't want it to be done and going, no, the husband's still at the gym, which he just told me now. 3 and, you know, let me turn that to volume down. Okay. Somebody said, LOL, you're very funny today. Well, thank you. I try. Maybe I'm just dehydrated. Maybe that's it. Because I ran 11.5 miles today because it was chilly, and I had the time, I thought. So I figured, why not? I went down the beach, and I quite literally ran into somebody who actually deserves to get run into, too. I was coming down the beach, it's a very narrow sidewalk on the beach. So, you know, if you're walking 2 by 2 and you see someone coming, you like move out of the way. And if they're coming at you, you know, you go single file until, you know, you can. Or if it's wide enough, you can at least, you know, let the person pass. And I'm jogging along in this direction. And these 2 people, you know, woman on that side, man in the middle, are walking back this way. And there's a man, oh, you're out of breath. Well, yeah. Anyway, there's this older gentleman, a senior man, sort of walking in the direction of the couple. So couple going this way, older man walking this way. And he's, you know, enjoying his nice, you know, winter walk where it's a nice cool breeze. And rather than, like, move over, the dude on this side stays right where he is and, like, you know, brushes the shoulder of the old man who's walking past him, like, doesn't even, like, yield him the, you know, on the sidewalk. And I'm thinking, what a putz. I'm not getting off the sidewalk for this guy. You know, I mean, he did this to an old man. He's not gonna do it to me. So I go past and I just take up my side of the thing, but I bang right into him. And it's like, well, it's like, ugh! It's like, asshole. Of course, you gotta be careful here. They probably have guns. Everyone has guns. You can get shot really easily. He said as he sought to warm his beef broth. Oh, thank you, Lavender Femchi. You're very nice. Okay, so this is just weird. I mean, I know yodeling, but this is yodeling on a whole other level. Okay, we're gonna warm this sucker up. Good for you, yeah. Okay, so this time I'm taking a picture of me with beef broth, explaining how I'm gonna warm it up so it's not cold when it goes into the rice. So, let's put that on a low, very low rung here. Okay. Meanwhile, the cow is such a jerk. I was like, you know, I mean, I know not to curse anyone. I know not to do that. Nothing good ever comes from that. He said after banging into a guy. Okay. The t-shirt that states Steamroller, get out of my way, I can't stop. Yeah. Okay. And it's funny, it always happens in the wintertime, because we get the tourists here in the wintertime, and like in the rest of the time, people are normally like, okay, but in the wintertime, you know, and I just assume it's because the people are visiting, you know, in fact, it's usually older women that'll be like standing there, and they say that aloud, let him go around! And I'm thinking, I'm not gonna jump in front of the bike path where a bike could mow me down, or a car could be like passing somebody, and I don't see, so, blah! Oh, and when I say excuse me, they're like, they either freak out, you gotta try to say as far away, I go, excuse me, or on your left, I'm trying to be like super nice, you know, as far, far away. Hey Lydia, so good seeing you. I try to let them know that I'm coming, and either they like freak out, oh my god, they just, you know, are startled, or they stop, like right where they are, and they go, yes, like I'm asking directions. I'm like, no, I'm coming past you. That's what's happening. There's somebody running in your direction. Move. I don't want to hit you. Dehydration. Okay, onion. I just came back. One of the reasons I'm all dressed is that I did have to run out to the store to buy onions, because as you saw on Sunday, I ran out of onions. I didn't have enough. And I hadn't had a chance to go get more. Lydia, 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 so good seeing you. And, oh, I need a trash bowl too, don't I? So, Swiss food, as I mentioned before, is a variety of things. There are, you know, 4 major components to society in Switzerland. The French, the German, and the Italian, since they're right there in the middle of all 3. There's also a 4th, Romarche, I think that's how it's pronounced, which I'm really not familiar with. Sorry, I can't stop. Sorry, I'm ready. I've tried everything. I'm 250 pounds. I say, I'm sorry, once I get in motion, I can't stop, and it's true. Yep. But, you know, I always give, you know, the older the person, the more latitude I give them, you know, because, hey, you know, you have trouble moving. You know, I imagine what if it was my mom. But, you know, it's young people. Like, most of them are really nice, but occasionally young people, like, screw them. And I'm like, well, screw you right back. Anyway, Swiss, German, French. So we did the French part on Friday, the German part on Sunday, and then tonight we're doing the Italian part, hence the Italian sausage. You have to laugh. I can't. Yeah. Catch you later, Cliffy. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for coming by. See you later. So, let us, we are doing what we're slicing. No, we're dicing. We're dicing the onion. So, this. You know, I saw this thing on, another thing on Tasting Table about doing the, slicing an onion. And, I was a little confused. I need to look at it again. Because it was all contingent on holding it together with your hands, and then, you know, cutting it down at a 30-degree angle, which I don't think I could maneuver that. When I try to hold it together, it just falls apart. So that's when I'm doing it this way. Which apparently isn't exactly the way that, you know, most people do it too. Because I see them slicing off like this top part, which I wasn't really clear on. But yeah, I found this way sort of works for me now. So if I can improve it, I'm always looking to do that. Also thinking about Swiss food. Aside from Swiss chocolate and such, one of the things you generally think of when you think what food is Swiss is fondue. Other people that have cooked around the world stuff have tried to cook fondue, which is fine, but you have to have a fondue set. And I didn't want to go buy a fondue set just for the one night of cooking fondue. So sadly, no fondue for you. Alas, where did you get your ingredients? Usually just at the corner store, unless, depending on the country. Sometimes there are ingredients that are harder to find, so as I go cooking around the world, I have to know kind of what continent I'm cooking to know where it is that I'm going to wind up having to go look for stuff. I mean, now I have a lot of rare stuff that I've stockpiled, so you know, when I get to the next neighboring country. However, if it's European stuff, I'll invariably find there'll have to be some specific sausage, which I couldn't find, or very specific cheese, which sometimes I can't find. But that which I can find, I get at, if I can't get it at the grocery store on the corner, I go to what I call the food boutique, which is this, you know, gourmet restaurant for the ultra wealthy, which is about, you know, let's say about 35 minutes away. Any ingredients are hard to find for your international meals? There have been several. Some you just can't. Like when I cooked Swaziland a couple weeks ago, their bushmeat is common since you get, you know, you're right there, you know, on the African savannah, and so when it calls for ostrich steaks, you know, it's easy. Here, when I went to find ostrich steaks a couple weeks ago, and it happened when I cooked South Africa also, I found a place that could provide them for $79 a pound, which made it a no-go. Same went for impala, and sometimes, you know, they're really rare things. But some things that are rare are not impossible to find. So, African stuff, there is a big international market. I call it the global market of 1 million ingredients where no one knows where any of them are. So, they'll have everything that you want from basically any country you want that's not European. Except you have to know where it's hiding in this gigantic store because no one is going to help you find it because no one knows where it is. So, Asian products, there's an Asian market that I go to, or I go to this place. They have good Asian produce, and sometimes, you know, I can, like, find the grandma from country whatever, and say, I'm looking for this thing here, which is that? Oh, that? Okay, good, thank you very much. For South American, Latin American stuff, it's dead easy, because there is a small Guatemalan community about a quarter mile away, and the Latin market that serves them happens to have other Latin American stuff as well. So that works for that. Asia, Africa, South America, Polynesia is not, you know, there isn't anything particularly hard to find there. Sometimes, you know, fish or certain offal things, which I haven't really experimented with, not only are hard to find, some are illegal. Like sheep lung. You cannot buy sheep lung in the United States. I know you're desperate to eat it, so, you know, I hate to break that to you. Okay, chopped onion. And now I'm going to set out my rice, but first I need to clean this. And you know what? I'm actually getting that eye thing with the... it's happening more often now. Weird. But that international market tends to be like the holy grail where I can find things. When I was cooking in the Netherlands, I wanted to cook a Dutch, Indonesian peanut satay, and I needed a very specific nut. I needed a candle nut. And I happened to be driving. We live in Jupiter, Florida, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of Miami, an hour north of Fort Lauderdale, about half an hour north of West Palm Beach. I just happened to be driving on that day all the way down to Miami, the long way. And I stopped in a dozen stores, and I happened to find a store that had them in Miami that was closing before I could get there. And then I went to an Indonesian restaurant in Miami Beach, and I asked them for some out of the back, and they were super nice and gave them to me. That waitress got a big tip. Yes, she did. I am looking for my scale. Where did I put my scale? Oh, here it is. Okay, new scale. Oyo. Okay, for this we're doing the risotto rice. And I need the risotto rice that I bought, which I am hiding in the freezer. I'm not keeping it in the freezer, I just hide it in the freezer to make sure there's nothing living in it. I'm very paranoid about little eggs of critters getting into stuff. And this is the one way I know to guarantee that they don't. Okay, so our risotto rice, our arborio rice, short grain, right here, we're going with 8 ounces of it, which I don't know exactly how many cups that is. So let's find out. I hope this bowl's big enough. I'm thinking I'm gonna have leftovers. Yes, I am. There we go. 8 ounces of rice. See the small grain? There's a whole deal about the way that that rice actually needs just a certain amount of water, but it seems when you cook rice that it seems that some types of rice take more water than others, and the reason for that isn't really the rice that needs more water, but rather the amount of time it takes to cook it, and the level of, which means more evaporation of water, which means you have to add more water. So risotto, this is like the 3rd time we're doing risotto on this journey. All you need is curry. Oh, yes, and anything Indian or Indian related, which is basically anything like, you know, that touches India or is near India, or any one of a number of formerly British or Dutch nations that brought in indentured servants from India. So it's weird. You have Indian food in India and Sri Lankan, and, you know, I mean, Indian-like food throughout India, which is like 8 different cuisines. So that's not just one thing. But like Nepal and Bhutan and Sri Lanka and the Maldives, but you also have Fiji and Suriname and Guyana, you know, all these far-flung places that you have, you know, a lot of Indian dishes because of the 1800s bringing indentured servants from India. So there's that. Thank you, Craig. Snyder Shella, thank you for the restream. So we cooked a risotto way back before Meerkat for Italy. We cooked a risotto before Meerkat, cooking Namibia of all places. We did an apple risotto. In case if you want to see anything, just go to cliffyland.com. You can catch up on all the countries that you missed, the ones that preceded Meerkat, and the ones that had Meerkat. You can even get links to the videos as well. There's links to divisional recipes, pictures of everything, how things went, trivia about the countries, etc., etc., etc. So, our saffron, I'm just prepping right now. It feels like I'm tap dancing. I kind of am, because it doesn't take that long to cook. Saffron. So whatever half a teaspoon is going to be, it's going to be that, because that was left over from my paella, which we made for Spain. So I hope that's enough. I have to remember, Kenneth, I don't see Kenneth here right now, but Kenneth turned me on, he gave me a link, which I unfortunately haven't, I may have to remember to go to. A place to get saffron straight from Morocco for a far less money than one normally would expect. I looked at it and I said, wow, that's really wild. That's, because, you know, everyone knows saffron is crazy expensive. Half a teaspoon, eh? That doesn't look like half a teaspoon to me. No siree. It's kind of like half of that. Well, it's not gonna have a ton of saffron. But good evening. Hey, Derek, how you doing? Thank you for the like in the restream. Well, that's all the saffron we got. So it's gonna have to do. It's gonna have to do. I'm debating about, you know what? I've done this before. I am not stupid. I have, even though it's not in the instruction, I'm gonna put some water. A little water in this. Because that's how we did it before. When I cooked Italy, I did a saffron risotto for that too, which used an entire container of saffron. The entire container. It was damn good. But it was damn expensive. Just saying. Okay, Parmesan cheese. We have some grated Parmesan cheese already. Let's see if it's enough. I believe it should be enough. It's odd that with some of these dishes, we've kind of lucked out in being able to use some stuff that's been sitting. So like the cheese, the Swiss mac and cheese thing we did last time. Oh, in case you're wondering. On Sunday, we did the pork cordon bleu and the sort of the applesauce and the Swiss mac and cheese. And that went okay. Actually, the husband liked it more than I did, which is usually it's the other way around. I felt bad that I had foolishly forgotten to season the pork before I started dealing with it and started cooking it. And I felt really dumb that I hadn't done that. He thought it was just fine. He thought it didn't have enough cheese. He was expecting, you know, a strong taste of Swiss cheese and didn't get it. Which it was weird because I was kind of going from the amount that it was suggesting in the recipe, and it did seem odd that the amounts didn't match of the ham and the cheese. And the mac and cheese part was okay. However, if you were watching, I left it in the fridge to stay in the oven to stay warm. And while that was okay, it did result in it being dried out. And that's because I didn't cover it with foil. So I felt bad about that too. We've had leftovers of that for a day or so. And it's been okay, but it could have been better. So this is part of the problem in me when I do all these things. I'm doing them normally for the first time. How is the consistency of the mac and cheese with the potato pasta mix? Okay, the potatoes and the pasta, that was fine. But the potatoes had gotten, the pasta had gotten a little crusty and hard because it was sitting there uncovered. I should have had it in foil, covered in foil. But, you know, I wasn't thinking. I was thinking, oh, I've got, when it'll be done, and I timed things badly. So, you live, you learn. Okay, it is, that's the weather, not the time. Give me the time, please. Thank you. I just hope he's gonna be home at a normal time. Clifton, thank you for the restream. Hi to you. Okay, we are going to get a skillet and hope for the best. Starting with the risotto. I hope my timing works. I really do. Usually my problem is that I'm late, not that I'm early. And this time, I'm wondering if I'm going to be too early. You know what? I think I should use the cast iron. I should again experiment and dare to try the cast iron. However, I think, no, is it still there? It's still there. It's very heavy. Takes two people to lift. Oh my god! Oh my god. It's the only place that fits it. We keep our bags. Holy moly. Ugh. Oofta. Clean. Jerk. Heavy. And I ran many miles today. You brave, brave man. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna do this. We are gonna do this. Okay, because it said to melt the butter on low. Oh, thank you, Elena, for the follow. Hi, how are you doing? Elena, 2016. Oh, and the other issue I have with this, well, you're gonna see, because I'm gonna move you over here in just a moment, is that, and if you saw me wrestling with a cast iron before, you'll know that the wide pan here is just a little too big for the burner. So I guess I can have it like right there in the middle. So we're gonna work on that. Elena, how are you doing? Good day, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good everything. Okay, so we got 2 tablespoons of butter, which are going to slowly be melted here on a low heat. Diana, how are you doing? Hello, good evening. Hearts and flowers to you too, my good woman. 2 tablespoons. That is 2, isn't it? Well, maybe it's a little more than 2. Here, we'll do that. So we hope that's gonna work. But like I said, when I did the risotto for Italy, it came out really well. Like I said, it was crazy expensive because it used all of the saffron in the world. But it was super good. And it was so good that I made it once, like, off challenge. I rarely do things off challenge. But I try to keep in my mind certain ones that go, oh, I definitely need to do that again. Which brings us to an interesting topic. What happens after hit Zimbabwe? Because Zimbabwe, we hit Zimbabwe at the, in July, the end of July. That's country number 193. So, I promised the husband a vacation. He hasn't, you know, we're talking about where to go. It's gonna be somewhere, we're gonna be in the heat of summer here, so I'm gonna want to be somewhere cool. But afterwards, aside from the vacation part, to what's cooking. I am making a, to put it simply, an Italian sausage and saffron risotto, or more specifically, the risotto con Luganega. Luganese sausage with saffron risotto. However, we didn't get that exact sausage, so it's Italian sausage, raw Italian sausage, which I have kind of sitting right behind you right here. It's not cooking at all. It's just sitting there room temperature at the moment because I don't want it to cook too soon, and I'm a little worried about that. So we are melting the butter for the, we're going to sweat the onions, which are right here. Shadow. And, oh yes, let me get some, the white wine, going, in a bowl, so I'll have that ready also. This is, I mean, I know yodeling is curious music, but this is, curiouser and curiouser. It's this weird combo of, I don't know. I am looking for 0.85 cups of the white wine. Bella, thank you for liking the restream. So we're slowly melting our butter in the cast iron skillet, hoping for the best. I need to season it again, but I hope cooking in it helps. I mean, it should, shouldn't it? What am I doing? Oh, the wine. Let's see, how much white wine is 0.85 cups. I got this Bidelottel for cooking wine. As I mentioned before, we have white wine in the house, and it tends to come in the form of parties, people bringing it, and then it stays, and then it sits, because we don't drink white wine. Not really our first go-to. So that's half. So hence getting the little bottles. Did you know? I think I don't know if they changed the law, but in Utah, correct me if I'm wrong. In Utah, you could go to a bar; they can only be served out of little bottles, or maybe it was somewhere in South Carolina. And the bartender can't make it like in your sight. He has to be like behind a curtain or something. I know some of these things changed not that long ago, and I may have my states confused. But yeah, I found that really kind of crazy. It's like, oh, you'll drink less if you just drink it out of little bottles. So they're mixing your vodka martini out of little airplane things. Okay, so we've got our wine ready for when we need it. And am I missing anything? We've got our beef stock, which we are keeping warm back here. What an odd law. Oh, there are all sorts of weird laws. Did you know that in Massachusetts, home of, liberal Massachusetts, happy hour is illegal. It's very curious. And there are counties throughout, the country, mostly in like Alabama, Arkansas, but some in Florida, that are 100% dry. No alcohol allowed. I mentioned this to somebody on Meerkat, actually, who was streaming from Japan. A British guy, or no, a Kiwi, who was streaming from Japan. And I was telling him this, and he said, that can't be. You have to be kidding. Because he's standing in front of vending machines there. They were selling, hard liquor. And I was saying, yeah, that wouldn't fly here. Okay. And like in Maryland, you can only buy alcohol, in a store from the state. So every liquor store is owned and run by the state of Maryland. It's, just really weird laws. And it's just all because of the way Prohibition, ended. Came about and then ended. You look a lot like a famous batsman from London. Well, thank you. What's his name? Now I'm curious. Best of Leicester. That is pronounced Leicester, right? Like Leicester Square. And see, I know that when you say Batman, I know you mean batsman. I know you mean cricket. Most Americans wouldn't know what you meant by that. So we're gonna sweat out these onions a bit. It must be quite late where you are. Good evening. Good night. Good morning. Sweating that. Okay. As it gets closer, I'm gonna warm this. Correct. Yes. Good. See, I learned things. Watch a little British TV, So, silly. Anyway, so we're sweating out the onions. We're not caramelizing them. We're having our